You need to mute yourself to know if I.
How's the latency now? Can you hear me?
I don't hear anything on the stream right now. It's just loading. Maybe I have to read.
Oh, wait. Yeah, no, I restarted the stream. So it's different. It might be a different link now.
Yeah, I don't hear anything on the stream right now.
Can you go to? Oh yeah, go. I restarted the stream. It might be a different link.
Oh, okay. That's maybe why.
And also, how do we make sure we're recording?
Okay, no. Yeah, now we can hear it.
You can hear. Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear it. Yeah, there's only a small delay. Yeah, there's only a small delay. So mute the stream and then go back to Google Meet. So mute the stream and then go back to Google Meet.
So I'm gonna change this to here. All right. You hear me fine? Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear myself. Just I have to talk loud.
All right. So I think we are ready to get started. Um,
Just count.
oh yeah, no, I I just started it. Yeah, we're live. Um, okay. So we'll get right into it. So hello everyone. My name is Nick Foyer, and I'm co-founder of Project Owl. I'm here joined today with Timo. You want to introduce yourself?
Hey everybody, my name is Timo. I do a lot of the production here at Project Owl, and we're excited to do a live stream today. I think it's an opportunity for us to show some of the coding we do on the ClusterDuck protocol on like a daily basis. I wanted to take some hours to share with you how we do it, how our code is built up, and Nick is going to take you through our code base, the cluster protocol code base. What kind of features we're working on currently, and also just share some of his amazing ninja skills in coding to help you better understand what we do and how the cluster protocol is working.
Yeah, and so also I want to go over why we wanted to start this stream. We wanted to find other ways to better engage the open source community, and since most of the time we're working on code, why don't we just stream it, and that way the community can get involved with while we're coding, and actually see how we solve some problems, as well as also make it a little bit easier to contribute by either asking questions about what we're doing, or they have questions about specific parts of the code that we're working on, or they even have suggestions on how we could be doing it better. So really want this to be a collaborative effort, where Timo and I will be working together on solving issues, and as well as also hopefully get you guys involved. And as we continue to do this live stream more and more, we hope to uh, open this up to the rest of the community to decide what issues are we going to work on, and hopefully we can get some interesting things done. So before I get
Yeah,
started jumping right into the code, um, just wanted for anyone who is unsure of what the ClusterDuck protocol is, um, to find more information about the code and how to get started, uh, you can check out our GitHub. Right here is github.com, call for code, ClusterDuck protocol. We have extensive documentation in our wiki on how everything works. Um, so give that a read. But a quick overview of why does the cluster can't speak ClusterDuck exists is 2 years ago, Project Owl competed in a global competition called Call for Code. And the whole idea behind it was to come up with a disaster response solution. And we were during the time at that time we were very inspired by what happened in Hurricane Maria, where months after Hurricane Maria, the island of Puerto Rico did not have power or stable communications, and the long tail effects of the hurricane really took a toll on everyone there. And so we wanted to develop a way that you could easily deploy critical communications to bring the communications from 0% to 1%. That makes a huge difference on whether you are calling for help, or like reporting a fire, or someone needs their medications, or being able to coordinate supplies. So And how we do that is by using small IoT devices that connect to each other in a mesh network. So definitely check out our GitHub for more information about what we do and how to get involved. This will be a very more technical focused stream. You can also check out our website at Project Owl. Here, projectowl.com. You can check out our website here. We also have a lot more information about what we're doing, as well as also you can check out some videos as well. So without further ado, we can jump into it. And also, Timo will be watching the chat. So if you have any questions or suggestions, I mean, we're the whole process of coding is building and taking it down and building something better. So if you have any suggestions on how maybe we could be doing something better, feel free to jump in and put in some comments. If there's any part of the code where you have a question about why do we do things a certain way, or what does that do, feel free to ask us. These live streams will be recorded, so you can watch later. Anything I missed, Timo?
No. Yeah, the one thing I shared as well is the ClusterDuck protocol website.
Mm-hmm.
So for anyone that is just jumping in and doesn't really understand what it is, the ClusterDuckProtocol.org is in the chat. It's the open source project. So we as Project Owl, like Nick mentioned, we started this thing based on the hurricanes, and we came up with the small IoT devices, but we open sources with the Linux Foundation to get everyone here and everyone around the world involved. So we split up the project into the ClusterDuck protocol, where we are very much focused on getting other people's projects out there, helping everybody develop with this. And this live stream is going to be very casual. Well, Nick will take a problem we have been finding with the CDP or something we want to enhance, or like a new feature. And you can see our thinking together, how we would normally be on a call and just work together on the CDP. So this will be recorded. So if there are no questions, we will just keep going. But if you're watching, you can always just ask a question in the chat, and we will definitely answer them.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, also you're welcome to cheer us on. Definitely.
It's our first time, so please start with us. I think it's normal for us we're very remote, but live streaming is also a little bit nerve-wracking because other people could watch it, and it will be on the internet forever. So we will do our best to talk slow, explain what we're doing, but I think Nick will explain the problem of today and how we're going to work on this. I think in the next 50 minutes, hopefully you get a bit of an understanding as how we approach problems in the CDP and how we try to really make this code base better and better every single day. So.
And just sorry to go on a tangent here. We as a very remote company, we do paired programming over the web all the time. Yet once we put the live stream part on it, now all of a sudden it feels like it becomes something different. So hopefully over time we'll get better at this, and it just becomes a bit more natural. So it's kind of a funny how thinking back on it, we do paired programming like this all the time, but I don't know. Somehow it feels a little bit different now.
Different life. So, yeah. So Nick, one thing I think I wanted to briefly introduce is how the network works, because it might give you an understanding of what we're working on today. So our mesh network has different capabilities of working fully offline, or there's an online gateway, and the online gateway is a MamaDuck. So what you would do is you would deploy your network in a big field or anywhere you might do testing. These networks cluster together, they mesh together, and all the data is being sent up to the MamaDuck, and the MamaDuck acts as the gateway to the World Wide Web. We also made another device, which is called the DetectorDuck. This device is used to arrange the distance between the ducks. So when you're deploying these mama ducks and ducklings in the field, you kind of want to know how far apart you can put these. Is it 100 meters, is it 500 meters, or a kilometer? So this little device, you can get feedback on the range on an LED that we put on top of it, or on the screen where there's an RSSI value. The problem is that if you want to use this device, you have to build one yourself, which is another hardware device you need to use. And what happens is after you use this device, you won't use it again because you set up your network, your ducks are in the field, your Papa Duck is set up. Then you would just put this device back in your pocket. What we are trying to do is we're trying to find a way we can leverage this device, which also has a LoRa antenna, which is the radio, and also has a microcontroller and the battery inside. Is what if after we use this, maybe use this as another mama duck? So you also have an extra duck you can use into your network. So one of the things we're trying to research today is there a way for us to trigger a detector duck into a mama duck and a mama duck into a detector duck? So you have one duck with two functions, but you don't need to build two of them separately. So Nick will explain how this works in code, but that's kind of like the background of how these two different ducks are used in the field and what we're trying to solve with the stream today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so as Timo said, we have all different kinds of ducks. So right now here I'm in. So I've followed all the directions in our wonderful documentation in our GitHub, and right now I am inside the ClusterDuck protocol folder. And so inside there we have our examples. We have all different kinds of examples for getting started and doing all different kinds of stuff. Like if you want to use sensors, or if you want to use Bluetooth, or if you have TTGO T-Beam, which have GPS already in there. But for the very basic use case of our network, you'll find in this ducks folder. And so you can see here we have the duck link, mama duck, and papa duck. So duck links are your in a mesh network terms are your edge nodes. They're the ones that are furthest away. Then you have your mama ducks, which are relays. We tend to use mama ducks the most. You can use them like duck links. But these ones, what's different between a mama duck and a duck link is that a mama duck, it's actually transmitting and receiving messages, where a duck link only transmit messages. So it's only sending. This is sending and receiving. And then you have the papa duck here, which is only receiving. And the papa duck is our backhaul for all the data. So all the papa duck will take the data that is being sent over the mesh network and push it to the cloud. So now to set things up in the field, we, after doing multiple deployments, we came up with this tool which we call the DetectorDuck. And the DetectorDuck is great because when we are placing devices on the go, we want it to try to make it as quick as possible, and figuring out where the best place to put devices can be difficult. And especially you want to make sure that they're arranged with each other, but you don't want them to be too close because you want to be most efficient with deploying devices. So we developed a DetectorDuck, which it's very simple. All it will do is we'll send a ping message. Actually, we can. It will send a ping message. So you can see over here we have like a timer that at a set interval will send a ping. And when it sends a ping, all the ducks the duck link, mama duck, papa duck are programmed to respond with a pong. And when we get this pong package, we get the RSSI value, and so what RSSI is the signal strength. And so the more negative the number is, the weaker the signal. But RSSI is also kind of cool in this way where for every time that you it goes down by negative, the distance also increases, for each point further negative you go. So it's kind of like RSSI is a very cool metric. But anyways, and so you can see right here where we have an LED light hooked up to our duck, and when the RSSI is less than negative 95, we'll have it'll be green, or so here actually this one doesn't have the LED in it, but that's okay. We can put LED stuff in there. So now, while this is great to have a separate device doing this, it would be great if we could just take any of the devices that we already have made. Let's say if we lose this, or we have multiple teams who are trying to deploy ducks, it'd be great on the go if we could just turn MamaDuck into a DetectorDuck. So if we look at the MamaDuck.
And the thing we're trying to figure out is that there are physical buttons on the device. They're only for turning on or off or reset. So we also, that's the next, I'm skipping ahead here, but it's not as easy as just setting a switch to do something else. We have to find an intuitive way to tell the duck to change if it's a MamaDuck or a DetectorDuck. So Nick will go into that.
Yeah, so I've been thinking about this a little bit beforehand, and this is something that we've talked about before. Was also having a developer console. Now, there are some parts where you have to figure out, like, security wise, but I think we can. We'll start with this, and then we can maybe figure out if that's the right way or not. But basically, it'd be one thing we've talked about multiple times before is having a way where you can open up a settings page, like a control panel for the duck, and be able to change its settings on the go rather than having to reflash. So one thing to also keep in mind whenever you want to update the firmware, we have to flash it using this Arduino software, or you can also use Platform IO, or even you can upload using the binaries, but that's tedious to do. And if there are only specific settings that you're trying to change on the fly, it would be pretty useful if you could just do that by connecting to the device directly. And how I was thinking we could do this is through the captive portal. Now, one of the ways that the ClusterDuck protocol is a little bit unique is that it utilizes Wi-Fi access points to create captive portals. And why this is great is that if you are in a situation where they have no power and no internet, it becomes very difficult to download an app to be able to use a service. So keeping that in mind, we had to come up with a way where you can interact with the devices without need to interact with them physically. And what we came up with is using captive portals. And captive portals are basically if you imagine when you go to Starbucks, let's say, and you want to connect to their free Wi-Fi, sometimes window will pop up and say, "Hey, give us your email," and then you can go on to use the internet. It works in the same way, except for rather than asking for your email, we have a form that you can put your emergency information and be able to send that to first responders. So where that is, so we're right now in DuckNet CPPs. This is where we handle all of our Wi-Fi, stuff. So we can see over here. So here, this is our updates. This is for when if you wanted to update the firmware over the air. Over here, form submit. This is when if you're submitting your emergency information. So then also we have other things here. So if you put this into the portal, you can get the device ID back. So what I am thinking we can do here is we can add a new location and called control panel, and then what we'll be able to do is we can add a button, and then if we press that button, then we can make a change happen on the MamaDuck.
So one of the things we have to do and look into is what functions we call after we submit, because the DetectorDuck is now living inside of an INO file and not inside of a method. So I think we have to move some of our code that's inside of the INO file into a separate CPP file or something, because right now I am not sure, but I don't think we can call that inside of the
so if we so this is maybe a good point. Maybe we can say here, what are the components for the DetectorDuck? Let's see. Can I increase the font here? Maybe it's better I just do it here. So what are the components?
There's this method, the bottom one, which is showing the signal. The first thing it does, sending a ping.
So what we need here is we need a timer where we're sending this ping handler every single time. So we need that, and then we need the ping method, right? Because this is a timer that calls ping handler. All right, so here, send ping. Now.
And that's already exposed.
So also we have here is we have to on receive, handle receive RSSI. So we need to so call back for RSSI. Yeah. And let's see that, and then show signal quality. Yeah, so here then we need show signal quality method. All right. So actually, maybe what we do here. Why don't we add a new folder here for custom, at least for now, custom, detect. All right, and then so we can create a new file, the custom mama detect.ino. All right, and we're gonna take our MamaDuck INO, this stuff, and we're gonna put it all right here, and we're gonna take this stuff and put it down here. So what to do, and then we also have to add new captive portal page, and method returning on detector. Oh, we also want on and off. Okay. So there we go. So this is where we're gonna start with this. Let's see. So I think let's take a look at this here.
So I'm pretty confident that making captive portal, we can do that. Making the button, we can do that. It's been a long time since I looked at how we do the RSSI values, because one thing we also want to do is, if we set it up, we want to make sure we call the correct LED stuff, for example. But if we're just setting it up inside of our code, we need to expose those methods where it sends something back to the INO.
What, for RSSI?
Yeah, because so is your intention to build another, because we cannot call an INO file from the web server stuff. We can call methods. So are you trying to move everything into a CPP file, or you're trying to use it the INO file?
Well, we're gonna definitely need to have for the INO part. I mean, unless we integrate this component into the CDP source files.
Yeah.
Which
there's already a file, DetectorDuck.cbp.
We're doing here. That's true. We could do it that way.
So if you go to the folders ducks and include, there should be .cpp, which I think it's in the ducks folder under source to the top. It's at the top. No, down. Yeah, there it is. Up. It's under source.
Yeah, I'm in source.
Yeah, but then there are two folders underneath source, right underneath the source folder.
And ducks.
Yeah, and there it is, duck detect. So there's already a lot of stuff in here which you can probably leverage.
Well, yeah. So actually, let's see the way here. So we got send ping. Yeah, and then also I think on receive RSSI, I think that's also probably in here. Yeah, so here's send ping. Let's see, hello receive packet. Well, the only thing with using this one here is that to use these, you have to
have an INO file.
Well, you would have to include this file, the duck.h.
Yeah.
Right. So if you include that into here, you kind of run into a bit of a problem, because you're also including the MamaDuck. And they have with the same names. Now, what we could do, though, actually that won't be a problem. So if we were to do here, so if we do include, so actually this might be easier.
Oh, I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to leverage this two codes into one INO file. And whenever we
Yeah.
do the submit, it just triggers something inside of the INO. Um,
Detect, and then we just call that detect.
okay, that's a lot easier because then we also don't have the problem where the LED code and stuff is not interfacing because it's not inside of our source. So
Yeah, so here, so then that what would happen is then you'd have, right. I guess I have like if
we need to
um,
interface with the portal. So we need to figure out what we can submit to the INO to trigger this if statement or something like that.
so here, so this is like so. Right. I just have like all right. So
Mm-hmm.
by default, it will do duck.run, and if when it's on, it'll do detect.run. So it'll run this guy. Oh, not this guy. Where is it? It'll run this guy. So it'll run this. It'll do this here. Which actually is this the same? I forget.
No, it's
Process portal request. Well, yeah. So it doesn't have a portal.
we will
So
need to
actually,
add it because we need to go back from detector to mama.
so I don't think we need then. So then we might. Oh wait, but here it's different. Handle reset resets the packet. See, handle receive packet is handled differently though in each one.
I think it's fine to do detect.run, mama.run. It keeps it the cleanest because then people will understand where we are with the code and what it's doing.
So
But we need to add a
so
portal to the detector.
yeah, we had to add the portal back to the detector. We took that out.
What we can do is we can block all the portal pages except the kind of like the developer or the settings portal. Um, we can block all the things like the form and the Wi-Fi stuff, etc.
So yeah, we're gonna need this process. Do we? No, do we need that though? Because I don't think we need it because as long as it when you press the button, this is let's see where.
So, it depends because by default, do we want it to be a detector duck and then you can turn into a mama?
Well, but if we were switching like how I was drawing like in here, that's fine because it'll switch how it handles packets, right? Because if it does this duck.run, it's using the MamaDuck. So what will happen is it'll run through here and then it'll do handle receive packet, and it will do all this stuff. So here, like where it does a relay, right, in handle packet, But
Yeah.
in here, when you do handle receipt packet, you see where we're getting the RSSI.
Yeah.
So that will be handled as long as we have, the correct flag.
But the question was, is if we start, like, what is it by default when you turn on the detector duck? And every time because if
Well,
it
it's by
doesn't
default,
store.
by default, it's gonna be a MamaDuck.
Yes. Okay. So okay, that makes sense. So it's a mama duck, and every time you turn it off and on, it's a mama duck again. You just need to trigger the detector duck. And what you can do, you can just turn it off and on to be a mama duck again
Yeah, or I mean, we'll put something in the
in the portal.
in the control panel. It'll say, um,
Turn back into mama duck.
yeah. So that'll be okay. Um, yeah. So I don't think we need you don't need the process portal request.
We'll get there when we're building out the portal.
Yeah. So yeah, process next request. Yeah. Um, do we need that? All right, we'll test it and see if
Yeah.
it works or not without it. But we will need to set up DNS, set up web server. We're gonna probably need these guys.
Yep. These are the things we need.
Mm-hmm. Um, and OTA we should also turn back on. We don't want this.
You don't need OTA, do you?
Well, I guess you don't, but won't that throw an error if because you're gonna be on the captive portal? Right, so DuckNet, because you have what here, update.
Yeah, that's just for the update. We can disable the /update on the detector if we want to.
Disable it. How do you disable it?
Well, we have to look into this, but we can set. We can do an if statement based on what duck it is, what URLs are available for that duck. But that's not the biggest thing. We can work. We can maybe after this stream, we should make some notes on what are the things we still need to like fix. But the core is probably just. So one other thing, after we press submit, how do you pass something into the INO? So, for example, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so what we would have to do is we'd have to send that to, either we create. So what we could do. So you wouldn't send it to the INO, right? You would send that to another one of the files here, and then the INO would have to request it, or you would have like some kind of callback, right?
Yeah. So there's a method that sets that boolean to true or false.
Yeah. So it has So we either call a method that sets something, and then the duck is always trying to get it, or we have some kind of callback where, so I don't know, but yeah, so there are a bunch of different ways that we can do it, and we'll probably just through some trial and error figure out which one's the easiest to do. So let's see.
Do you want to start by the .NET side, or you want to start on the other side?
What, putting in right
The
here?
the portal and the button and stuff. Said where you should we start from the top and work our way down?
I mean, work on this side, like work on this stuff first.
I'm just asking you, what do you think is better? I think the easiest stuff we can do is just build another captive portal screen with a button that triggers
Mm.
a function.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, that's what I was looking at.
So we'll build another web server.on. We call it
Yeah.
/control, I guess.
I would say control
Um,
panel. I like the
yeah,
sound of control panel.
yeah, it sounds pretty cool. I'm excited to build this functionality over Bluetooth as well, so we can leverage the app at one point. But
Yeah, where do I want to put it? Uh, Maybe put it up here. Let's see, do we want a dash panel?
and there are two things we can do. We can build another .h file that serves HTML code, or we can use the web server inline, where we, for now, I think it's very easy to just have a button on the page without any of the like loading in your own custom HTML.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to look at how the web server works exactly. I can do that in the meantime.
Let's see. Yeah, because also it's not just like sending. Let's see, how did we do it for the change SSID? Hmm.
There it is.
Oh, Wi-Fi. Oh, I have a Wi-Fi page.
Yeah, there's a whole separate Wi-Fi page.h, or it's in the source somewhere.
It's in the source.
It's called it's probably an include folder above CDP packet.h. So on the left side, underneath MamaDuck.cpp, there's an include folder.
Yeah, Wi-Fi credentials. Yeah, this
Yeah,
one
there it is.
here. Okay. Maybe I just steal this. Okay, because I think actually doing it as actual page, because so the idea of also using the control panel, what's nice about it is that you can add other stuff on there,
Yeah,
other
I
settings and
think
stuff.
it's good to have to have a separate page. I would say copy this instead of doing a form. You just do a button
Yeah.
where the action is change detect or something. So we'll call this control panel at H or something.
Yeah, so let's see. Control. How do we do? Alright, cool. Alright, so let's take this and put it in here. Alright, so we change this name to alright.
Yeah, Brenton asked in the chat if we could implement individual endpoints, but I think that's what he means for the portal.
Yeah, so we have different. Yeah, so we have all different endpoints right here. So we have ID, restart. So if you want to access these, right? Normally when you connect to a duck, the web page will automatically pop up. Now that's that's what is going to be happening for here. This one right here. is what we'll be showing you. Now, if you wanted to go to like see any of these other pages, you're gonna have to go to the IP address, and the IP address is the same for each one. And so if you just open up your browser and go to, I think it's 192.168.1.1.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, and then you just go to /control panel or you know /ID and stuff like this. Now, and also like for things like form submit. So someone else also pointed out, because you can directly access these. We have just to make sure we put some security on them at some point. Yeah. Like, so I think we're gonna put out an issue for fixing up so that to protect these endpoints, so that people can't just go crazy, go ham on them, and
we're just basically building our own API, but then
mm-hmm.
kind of a custom API for web handling.
Yeah.
Some of them are like a post, some of them are like a get.
Yeah. So yeah,
but it's different because it's on the portal kind of perspective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah. So this. Let's see. Yeah. So anyways, yeah. So does that answer your question?
Yeah, Charlie jumped in. It's basically like Charlie. We're just using a web server, so we're building out our own APIs here.
Yeah, it's great too. It's pretty straightforward, pretty easy. Now we pretty much have an example of doing it. I think almost every way that you would maybe normally, or for most use cases. Yeah, the get and the post. Which makes it so much easier for me to add new stuff.
Yeah, the one thing you might want to change is if you go to your control panel.h, what portal you pass in. So at the top you called it control panel. That's the name I think we pass into the web server. The const char.
Where?
So I think what you have it named at the bottom or somewhere, there is a something defined as portal, which asks for the name of the. I think it's in the ducknet.h. You have to open that file.
Oh, ducknet, yeah. Let's see. Let's include.
Oh, there it is. Actually, portal is main page. Portal is HTML. You were just there. Yeah, line number 39 till 44. We'll have to define the other page as well.
But how do you define the
Well, you can just pass in control panel whatever you call the HTML directly inside of the method. Yeah, that should work.
Yeah, but we need to include it somewhere. So where's what is it? FI page.
It's in ducknet.h.
Oh,
that's where we include all the files. Yeah, at the top.
Yeah, here, Wi-Fi credentials. So include. What was it called? It. All right. Let's see. So this has a problem here. Why is it angry?
Oh, because the if not defined, the if defs are
Oh
not
wait,
good.
oh here, yeah. Because they already exist. Alright, let's see. There we go. It's not just that. So this is missing. So something is missing. Oh, this is okay. So that's being recognized now.
Is it being recognized?
Well, it's being recognized here. So that's good. I'm just not sure what is missing on this page. I
I'm
love
thinking
how the salute, like the fix to the problem is just disable telling
errors.
me that there's a problem.
So
Uh,
what might be the problem is it's strange. We have done it. I've just done this last week with the custom portal example. Um,
mm,
as long as it's not breaking, we can just maybe try it, keep going, and see where the problem gets resolved.
uh, I don't know. That's gonna work, but all right. Well, anyways, we'll just continue. Um, I'll figure it out. Okay, so now let's just make this one here. Wait, it was. Hey, this is H2. That was H1 on the other side. Or did it automatically change it for me? No.
Charlie had a good point. We should build an example where you can build on your own endpoint, or at least have instructions how to build your own endpoints
Mm-hmm.
for people to build custom pages. We can do that.
Yeah, we. I mean, yeah, we could. Yeah, no, definitely.
So the one thing we just have to do here now is just have one button that just says that triggers an action, which is like change detector or something.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Let's see. Um. All right. We don't need any of this stuff. I mean, I guess we could simply just do here. Well, let's see. Man, I haven't done buttons in a while. So let's see.
we can probably just do a button which has an action. Uh,
Oh, okay. So they have on like one of those on press.
yeah. So if you go, there's an example already inside of the other. Wait. No, actually, it's not. Let me see. Um,
I get a button? Yeah, for
Yeah, the input type submit. We can add a class, but that's a button already. Um,
but isn't there like where you can have it?
there are two ways we can add a. I think we can add an action to a button.
Well, I mean, this could probably work. Let's see. Hmm. Well, okay, that probably would not be the right way to do it. Um.
This should work though. Um,
Yeah, that's not the like. Well, if you wanted to, let's say, if you wanted to put other buttons, right?
oh yeah, correct. We would have to. All we can do then is we can have different forms underneath each other. I think what you just have to
Was
do,
that
yeah.
the way to do it? I mean, I guess technically. Well, yeah, I guess. Um. Hmm. So, like, would it maybe be
Well,
better? Would it
the way
be better? Actually, you know what? You should, actually, rather than having so we should have one here, then have like a save, right?
yes, but what there's also an option is when you have a form, you can give it a standard action, but you can give a button another action. Um,
But I'm just thinking.
so,
So if you think about like for, I mean, maybe I'm going a little bit far here. I'm just thinking about, for the control panel, you're gonna have a bunch of different settings, right? And you don't want when
correct.
you press one button that it submits the form, right? That which will refresh the page every single time. It might make more sense. I don't. I'm just spitballing here. It
It
might make more
depends.
sense. It might make more
We don't.
sense where we have like it. So basically, it's all in one form where you just get interact with a bunch of different settings, and then you hit the save button.
I don't think so because the problem is if you wanted to turn it into a detector duck, but there's also an option that says I don't know, use different Wi-Fi credentials, then you're using different settings with the same input. You know what I mean? So you're making it into a detector duck, but you also tell it to use, I don't know, different Wi-Fi settings. But that the Wi-Fi settings are only available for the MamaDuck. So I think having a just five buttons underneath each other to trigger different actions for now could be. I think because also we have to watch the time on the stream that I would just say give this an action, which is change detector, and then
Right.
in maybe the next stream we can work on more functions.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. So they're on. I don't know, and then just flip. Okay. All right. That might be a good stopping point for now. All right. So what we did, just kind of recap of what we worked on. We created a bunch of new files. So maybe even taking a step further back, what we were trying to accomplish here was to add in a way where you can turn a MamaDuck into DetectorDuck. And how we were doing this was by adding in a new route here where you can get by adding this control panel in the captive portal where you'll be able to change the settings where you can turn it into a detector duck. We also have here we created a custom mama where it is able to switch its behavior. So if detector is on, it will run as a DetectorDuck. If it's off, it'll run like a MamaDuck. Um, so what we have left is to continue. So we have added the captive portal page, so that's done. Now we just kind of maybe make it better, but we need to add a method, which we kind of just we put something to post when we post to. We should be able to do that. Then we also have to add all the rest of this stuff for that the DetectorDuck needs to be able to work properly. So yeah, we'll be as of now, I guess we'll continue to work on this in the next stream. We'll see how things go, but as I said before, I think what we want this to turn into is that maybe we have, before a stream, we'll have maybe a vote of what issues to work on and to start working on the GitHub issues. So we'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah, I think this is a good start. And what we can do is we can share this code in a branch, maybe the detector branch, and you can take a look. This time it's the first time. I don't think next time we'll hopefully get into a lot more code. But I think just seeing our workload and we will change while we do this. I think we're just very new, but as soon as we have more,
that actually brings a good point. If anyone wants to take this and tackle it and finish it, I mean, that's all power to you. So maybe what I do is that I commit here, git status, everything look right. Ducknet. All right, so git add. I want all of these. Looking good. All right, git commit. This is our stream 1. Yeah, I guess stream 1. So if anyone wants to pick up where we left off, let's see. Let's see. Should I put it on the Project Owl one or on the CDP?
Put it on the CDP in a branch. People would know how to find it easier than on the fork.
Let's see. Which one did I have it on here? Okay, so git push origin. Okay. Actually, maybe it's better to make a pull request in.
We can change the name potentially, but yeah, I think this was fun. I really enjoyed this, although it's kind of like it's nerve-wracking at the beginning, but I think everybody loves how we just stumble on code for 30 minutes at a time. But
yeah.
Awesome.
I think so. I mean, it's what we're doing anyway. So we're going to be making progress, and then, but also, I think this is a good opportunity for people to get an idea how to interact with the CDP, because it is, we know how difficult it is jumping into new code. So this is a good way for people to see how we interact with it, see our thought process, as well as also be able to not only ask questions, but also provide comments on how you could do it better. So, so that I think we achieved our goals today, and looking forward to the next stream. We might play around with the times a bit, but keep a lookout on our Slack when we'll be announcing the next one. And I think we're looking to doing this weekly or bi-monthly. So we'll see.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone. Whenever this one is uploaded, we will add all the information in the description. We'll give these nice titles so you can follow along and follow the progress of our code. So thank you, Nick, for the great explanation.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we'll do lots more of these in the upcoming months. So I'm excited for them.
All right. Thank you, everyone.